Did you all hear me? I didn't know it was going live yet. It's Kimberly. For some reason, somebody next door is blowing a horn in the driveway and they're just like pushing down on it and not letting up. And I hit the go live button and I went to shut the front door. And at the same time, I kind of mumbled under my breath, "What the F?" So if when this is over, I'll cut it off. So if I wasn't sitting here and you heard me say that, that's what was going on. I don't know if you heard all of the, all the horn blowing. Okay, so I've got musings from the old lady. I'm the old lady. Yes, I had a humorous conversation with myself. I was on the way to the chiropractor. And I have decided I'm gonna start sharing my stories, you all of my crazy convoluted stories, which maybe I share them anyway. But this whole journey of what this awakening and the process is and how I know some of the things that I know and that you all know things. Okay. So I was invited to be on a summit to be a speaker, and this one is more geared about Akashic Records. And the person needed more speakers. So I gave her some names of people that I knew that work in that modality. And somebody wrote me back and questioned me. And honestly, I thought, why don't you just go in the records and ask if it's what you're supposed to do? And they asked me which one of the organizations in which who I studied with, and there's evidently several of them out there, and you have to hold your head a certain way and do things and say things to get into the records. And they wanted to know which one I did, and I did the poodle to the noodle. This is what the poodle to the poodle to the noodle technique was. When my daughter was 15, about this time, well, we just passed. I guess we're already in April, aren't we? She's going to be 30 in July. This is how long ago it was. I got her a puppy for her birthday. She wanted a puppy. She wanted her own puppy, not a puppy that was. I used to show golden retrievers, not anything from that. She wanted her own dog. She wanted a dog she could carry it around in a purse. So we went and looked at different stuff. So one day we were stopping to get ice cream and she wanted to go in the pet store and I threw a friggin' fit. I had all kinds of things about pet stores and got on my soapbox. Was literally rude to the workers and the people in there. I mean, I was a real bitch. Well, there was this poodle there. And actually there was litter mates. And we didn't get it that day because I had all kinds of things about pet shops. And 3 or 4 days went by and I manifested this crazy convoluted. I'll tell that story another time. Uh, Money that came to me. I mean, a big hunk of money. And so I was like, oh, we can buy the pet shop poodle. So I went back and the pet shop poodle was even marked down. I bought the discount pet shop poodle. So I brought the poodle home. She named him Cayce. And he really quickly started coming to he would work with my clients. I was working at home and he would work with my clients. Actually started barking and the dog taught me how to astral travel too. That's a whole nother story too. All of the musings with the poodle. And I would have to buy locate and come upstairs and be with him I was doing massage while I was doing massage on my clients. So I learned how to buy locate because of this dog, because he was barking. And then I just started bringing him downstairs to be with me. But, I just started doing that, and he would work with the clients, and he would fall asleep, and people would get messages. He came to the meditation circles that I facilitated here at the house. So my daughter named the dog Casey at the beginning. Okay, that was his name. And anyway, a few weeks went by, and his papers came from AKC, came to the house through however, whatever they came. And the dog was born on Edgar Cayce's birthday. Okay. And it was, and my daughter had named him Cayce with not us not knowing. And in the meantime, she ended up changing his name to Prince. So the people that originally knew him, we called him Prince Edgar. But anyway, that dog gave people got messages all the time. He would conk over, fall asleep, and they would suddenly know stuff. And one day I was working with a client, and the dog was laying on this man's chest, and all of a sudden, I see Edgar Cayce like come up out of the dog, and he's like looking around. He's like a statue, like a bust, and he's like looking around. And he told me that he really was this poodle, that an aspect of him had incarnated and was using, dog as his modality so that he could watch and he could watch humanity and watch what happens between the heart and the mind. And so I was already seeing into people's bodies. So it made sense that he made sure he came to somebody that was, you know, a medical intuitive, because he was a medical intuitive and that my brain was already trained in that way, in some way. That I used to work in hospitals. So already had this training in that. And so Edgar Cayce was known for the Akashic Records. He coined the word. I don't know if it was used before him or not, but that's where he knew when he would go to sleep. When If you all don't know who Edgar Cayce was, he was called the Sleeping Prophet, and he um, did prophecies and he helped people, and he would go to sleep and get all of this information about people and about them medically. He wrote, there's books and books and books of all of his readings, and how he helped people and like the remedies that he created. And there's a organization in Virginia Beach. So anyway, he would come through this dog and tell me stuff. So when the person today asked me what classes I took to access the Akashic records, because you gotta, say all these things and they have to be said exactly in order to get in there. Or you're not allowed in. You're not allowed in if you don't do it that way. And I was like, mine would be the poodle to the noodle technique. So I'm gonna start talking about stuff like this because there's nothing wrong with studying and going to classes and stepping into that and understanding where you're at and what you're doing and what plane of existence that you're working in. But this is accumulated knowledge, and we all have it, and we all have the ability to be able to walk into this and to receive this kind of information. Nobody owns any of that. So anyway, I'm on my soapbox today, and I'm gonna start doing musings from the crazy old lady. It's like I can, it's like I'm 60 now. Shit, fuck it. It's like I can say what I want to. So I'm gonna start teaching the poodle to noodle techniques. I've had several people lately been asking me about teaching energy work again and how to do readings and stuff. And so I have, like yesterday, I worked on what I wanted to do in creating a mystery school, and what was I going to call it, and what was the technique going to be called. And I think that's going to be it. It's going to be Poodle to the Noodle. So that's what I'm on here today to tell you. You all have it within you. You have this, it comes from your heart, it comes through you. You all have this within you to be able to connect to all that there is, to knowledge that is in all time, and that it's there for you. Okay? So that's it. So just let go of your noodles so the poodle can come through, and then that's it. That's one of the ladies that questioned me. I said, I didn't have anything in my mind that told me I couldn't walk into the records. I didn't have a reason not to be there. Nobody told me that I had to hold my head a certain way. So to me, it's interesting how humanity, creates all this stuff, to rituals and all these things to be with spirit, because we're the ones that do that. We have to create all of these things. That's why we created religion, to get to God and to have go betweens to get there. So I can be your go between too, if you want me to be that for you. I'll be your sacred witness, and I can be your poodle to the noodle. So that's what I'm on here today. I never really, I mean, some of my friends and some of the people that knew Prince knew this, and and I've told the story, but I wrote it all out today, and it's like, okay, these are going to be these may be stories that I start talking about in this whole journey, and how I got to the places that I did, and how I let go of my mind and just became totally batshit crazy. Okay. Thank you for being a gift to humanity. Thank you for doing all that you do. Thank you for being here in this now. And I'm going to go outside in the yard and scream at my neighbors. Bye.